All right, Mr. Richeson, talk to me a little bit about what life was like prior to onboarding with Safe Haven 7.5 years ago.
Yeah, so good question. So I was in security alarm sales years ago, and then I got into medical sales, and I knew Brandon and his brother Corey for years, and I watched them come to Safe Haven, and Safe Haven actually tried twice to come and get me to come work for them. I was living in Seattle, and one was to be the Seattle branch. So ironically in 2016 to come out and move to Kansas City to run the recruiting department of all things. So neither of those timing were right, but the onboarding process for me came in 2017 in February when Brandon and his older brother Corey called me, sat me down, and said we have an opportunity to start a new region or a division. Are you interested? We went over some details. I flew out here, met Mike Emmons, met the company, met you, and met Lance and Dean and a few of the guys, and it was a pretty easy decision for me. Even though I was moving my family from Seattle to Kansas City, professionally, I knew right away what I felt. I guess I didn't know, but what I felt about the company at that point. And it was just something a little bit more special and something to it. And we made the leap, and yeah, 7.5 years ago.
Absolutely. Well, I know we both come from the security industry, and
Yep.
making the leap towards Safe Haven was a difficult decision. I know you have a bit of a particular situation that transpired with your onboarding. Do you mind sharing with us what that initial meeting, and for the viewers that aren't familiar, Mike Emmons is one of the two owners of Safe Haven. Mike, do you mind sharing with me a little bit about what that conversation entailed when you flew into Kansas City?
Yeah. So, yeah. So didn't talk to Mike beforehand, but I knew Mike because he had flown out in 2012 when he offered me the Seattle position. But then didn't talk until 2017. So it was really neat. I flew out, and Corey and I went and sat in Mike's office, shook his hand, got to know us a little, got to reconnect because we already kind of knew each other, reconnect, and he literally says to me, he says, "So are we good here?" And I'm like, yeah, guess we are. And so next thing I know, I'm literally being onboarded, and there was no contract. The things were a little bit different back then, where you just took a person's word and a handshake, and that's all been resolved at this point. But to think that I came to work for a company with 4 children, moving, 1,500 or whatever 2,000 miles away from home without a contract, and I've never woke up on a Friday morning without a paycheck says a lot about Safe Haven and a lot about the owners of Safe Haven.
Absolutely. In a lot of experience prior to coming to Safe Haven, I think we both have experienced unpaid bonuses and failed promises. And I think we both can share the same consistent story that everything that we've been told here at Safe Haven has come to fruition and tenfold that. So,
Yeah.
Mike, for those that don't know you, you're probably one of the most passionate people in the entire country with just about everything that you do, whether that be us golfing on the weekends, our personal relationship, the relationships with managers, reps, the interview process. Talk to me about where that passion comes from and how you're able to bring that same level of energy and passion to the position week in and week out.
That's a good question. I think, for me, and I have this belief system, and most people know that about me. I believe that there are certain characteristics that you're born with, and then there's other what I call learned behaviors. I am who I am. Um, my mom and dad, I think, had pretty big personalities. I think I've always had that. I've definitely worked on trying to, you know, kind of bridle that passion and utilize it at the right time. But I am, I think where that comes from is looking at the positive in everything and everybody. Um, I'm grateful. Like when you talked golf. So if those are the golf with me, I just love that I get to go play. And when I play, I want to just enjoy myself and have a great time. Playing well and shooting a good score is a byproduct of just going out there. I think I truly, truly love people. Um, I see the good in people, and not allowing others to influence how I'm going to react or how that's going to affect me. I think I get hurt more than I get upset, but I've learned to deal with that in a way to, not have it affect future relationships and things. So passion is just this love for life, love for people, love for growth. I know for me, Zup, that when I can go and be a part of teaching, just a part of teaching a manager how to conduct an interview, and all of a sudden they go and they do that, and then that rep gets brought on, and all of a sudden this chain happens where we've got offices growing and success happening. Everybody benefits, right, from that one thing. And if we could all be unified, working together, and as one that Pinpoint has seen in time, and we're continually working to strive to get back to that, success happens all around us, and there's more happiness and more. But long-winded answer to your question is, man, I just think I try to just see the good in people, and I choose to live my life in a happy state, and therefore, it follows me, I think, for the most part.
Absolutely. You've got the glaring personality, and you've kind of got that halo that surrounds you with passion. So, Mike, talk to me. So your passion started with recruiting. A lot of your onboarding had to do with your background in recruiting and what you're able to bring to the table. Now, your position has changed a little bit over the years, and you're focusing a little bit more time and energy on some different avenues. I wanted to ask you, what do you think makes Safe Haven special when it comes to being onboarded or recruited? I know that there's a lot of folks out there that are looking for substantial incomes or to, increase their financial being. What do you think Safe Haven has above and beyond a lot of the other folks that are being recruited out there that we offer here that maybe they don't?
That's a great question, and the answer to that question is really clear for me. I have a really strong belief system when it comes to Safe Haven. There's not any of this over-promising, under-delivering. We are not that big flashy company, over-promising bonuses and pay. If you go and do this, you get paid this. We have very little change in Pinpoint. We try to keep things consistent and simple. So for me, when it comes to this industry and when it comes to Safe Haven, the W-2, the benefits, the culture, which work hard, treat people right, do things the right way, and we're going to pay you really well to do it. We do not cap you. We do not micromanage you. And that's our business model. When I first started here, Zup, if you remember, we were growing this new division, direct marketing. And Mike Emmons used to come and sit down in every one of our interviews. And he would get asked sometimes by these candidates, what do you think, has made for your growth? And this was before, this was 17, 18, before we really got to our growth years. And Mike Emmons would say this, I pay them really well, and I stay out of their way. And I thought, and that is a model that I think that we as nationals over Pinpoint really try to do, is we make sure you're clear on what that model is. We provide you the support and the tools to succeed, and we can sit back and watch you go and give you a little bit of advice and pivot you here and there. So you want supported, you want to be a part of a stable company, you want opportunity, but yet you still want to kind of go earn some of those fun things that we do with the incentives and the trips and the outings. Safe Haven's the place to be, and we've been consistent in that model for my entire 7.5 years here. So
absolutely, Mike, I love what you said, and there's so little change in Pinpoint, which is our specific division that works with residential first-time or primarily first-time home buyers. You also had mentioned this idea that we like to under-promise and over-deliver. My previous experience, and I know yours as well, was always over-promise and under-deliver. The two primary things I remember when I onboarded was opportunity for more money and opportunity for advancement, and both of which have come to fruition. So obviously you've seen the same side of that deal as well over the past 7.5 years. So Talk to me just a little bit about the perception of door to door versus what we actually do on a regular basis. So, for the viewers that
Yeah.
aren't super familiar with our industry, oftentimes there's this stigma attached to it that you're dropped off on a block and you're walking around these blocks in the hot and
Yeah.
the cold, dealing with the elements. Whereas our approach is we're dealing with great consumers that have done a great job buying their first homes. And candidly, they're quite excited that they have an opportunity to protect that investment. So, talk to me a little bit about coming from straight door to door and then what we do and what you found the differences to be.
Yeah, so I actually can answer that in two parts. Number one is when I first got here, I would say my entire sales career's up. When I was a golf pro, there was a lot of emotion behind that, right? People would come to me for lessons, they would want to get better, and there was this big passion to get better at a sport, right? But when I got into door to door, it was so transactional. Sign in the yard, free alarm. It was just different and simple. So then I got into medical sales and I'm selling things that were all transactional, from petri dishes to gloves, as you know, we kind of tease about. But when I came to Safe Haven, and I had to learn the first week, I remember out in Denver for my training, going, man, it's not a sign in the yard for a free alarm. It's what's the emotional reason why this new homeowner would be interested in a security alarm. And I had to learn that but because I'm kind of a passionate, emotional guy, I could find that pretty quickly and
Mm-hmm.
make those adjustments quickly. So that's one thing that's different. Now, the belief system of what we do has really, really got strong for me this year. Zup, in doing these interviews, ADT has done all the advertising and marketing for us. A brand new homeowner has a revolving door of everyone coming into their home with water, sewer, garbage, cable, electric, quotes for new carpet, all that. Our leads and what we do with that new homeowner, number one, we're just another utility showing up to a revolving door that ADT's done all the marketing and advertising for us. That's number one. This is a warm lead. We know some things about them. We also know that it's really difficult in what they're doing right now. When they decide to sign up for us, it's because we've shown empathy, we've shown rapport, we've gotten ourselves in their shoes going, man, you guys are so overwhelmed with what you're going on. We're just here to help.
Mm-hmm.
And we get in that home, and now they're paying for something that truly protects them, not providing us a need for them, even though this is a need. This is this protection and this peace of mind that at the end of the day, I don't ever remember a customer upset about spending $60 a month with me, but they're complaining on heck how their power bill's
Right.
$400 a month. And so I always felt so great when I did that. But now that I'm training it and digging into the front end of it, my belief system has grown so much in that side of it. So hopefully that answers your question.
Absolutely.
So
Mike, I appreciate you taking a little bit of time out to talk with me today. And I imagine at some point we'd like to hear a little bit more about that golf career. So I look forward to speaking here soon.
thanks up.
Thanks, Mike.